mean, inflation doesn't do any good for anyone really in the economy.
Generally speaking, the stock market is now 15%.
The most interesting thing at the moment is we're seeing that we're acknowledging inflation, and governments are trying to contain that with, will these interest rates, but slowly, we're not going to be burnt like we were in 1994 or 1991, 92. We thought, we'll just reduce interest rates, and inflation, it's coming off now, we'll reduce rates. They reduce rates too quick. They won't be burned again. And that goes for the entire planet. What I'm seeing now, and I'm not the only one who shares this view, is that with pressure now on cost of living, wages, the ability to produce in the area of production, and overall environment in the business sectors throughout the world, is that the operating expense has gone up. It hasn't gone down. And what we're also seeing in the areas of particularly real estate and production and automation, in the areas of technology, they're laying off people. Now this has only transpired in the last probably 90 days. So if we go back to June, July, here we are now, September, some big names laying off a serious amount of people. Middle management being slashed and being replaced with automation. And that's because of profitability, cost to operate. Now, not that we want to labour too much about what we spoke about in the area of AI, and I know a lot of people are probably sick and tired of hearing about AI, but the reality is that we're going through a shift. And I never forget, going back many years ago, reading data, I think it was from a scientist that it was Einstein actually, he was Einstein's sidekick from Germany, and Albert Frein that made a comment that information up until 1900 was doubling every 500 years. And Bill Gates actually brought this up on his latest What's Next Netflix session, which is interesting. So up until 1900, information was doubling every 500 years. Up until 2000, information was doubling every 17 months. Now, here we are now in 2024, according to Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Intel, information is doubling every 5.5 months. That was what was stated. Now, what does that mean? I think the wave that we're coming off inflation, no one's enjoyed it. Inflation doesn't do any good for anyone really in the economy, not for governments, geopolitical, corporate, commercial, domestic markets. But what we're about to see, I feel, is pressure on and a rising of unemployment. And I think that with technology, you can't really avoid certain sectors that are going to be vulnerable to technology and lay off. And I'm talking about. I think you'll see the unemployment data in Australia could increase by another 2%. Between now and the next 24 months, which is quite significant. And where that's underemployment, but I'm talking about the unemployment data, I think will rise. America's experiencing it, so is Europe, and I think that's going to be the next concern going forward. Now, that's for people that potentially are going to be in that percentage of job loss or job threat. In some areas, it'll be obsolete. I mean, when we go back and have a look at the same people that were involved with, break it down, Blockbuster or Video Easy or Kodak, those people didn't end up working at Netflix. They evolved into something else. Well, it's happening so fast, the technology. I mean, even we know in accountancy, I think accountancy, you've got 2.4 million people in this country that lodge their own tax return on e-tax. That jumped from 400,000 to over a period of about 12 years. I think the tax code will be changed where the accountancy average tax return will be under threat. Certain areas of law are being affected by AI, processing, overall automation in many different fields. And I think that we're going to see unemployment being a concern for the world. I think that I don't think anyone's immune to that. I think, and so that to me, that doesn't concern me so much, but it should concern, look, for the building industry, even the building industry. You know, if you're a carpenter, a plumber, or electrician, you're still going to have work because the robots aren't going to be able to do that work for another decade. But give it time. 3D printing now to go and lay, to build a 3-bedroom house, let's say, with one of the major home builders today, and I know because I was involved in this process, to go and to lay down 35,000 bricks, or whether it be 15,000 bricks, that 3D printing now can do it in 20% of the time. That same sort of just construction of a home will take, with trowels, on-site crew, about 8 to 10 full-time brickies. This same operation today, at 20% of the time, can be built with 2 people on site. Now, how long does that take to take off? I mean, I think that will become, it's novel, I think it'll become quite common the next 3 to 4 years. And Europe are very innovative, particularly in Denmark and Finland, and very innovative in this space. And I think you'll see that, and some of that technology will go into larger scale. So I think, despite what people think, I think that technology will play a big part in doing away with a lot of the jobs that have human intervention.